Welcome back once again to the live YouTube session. In the second session today, we would be inviting Mr. D. Lakshman. Lakshman Garu is PGT Chemistry, is working at Peddapur, Julapelli Mandal, Peddapelli district. He is a very uh, decorated chemistry faculty. He has done his MSc in chemistry with organic chemistry as specialization and is a B.Ed as well. He earlier worked at Loyola High School, Hammam, from 2006 to 9, and he has also worked in Narayana Junior Colleges at Hyderabad, and he has also extended his services to Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan as a chemistry faculty from 2011 to 14. So I invite Mr. D. Lakshman Garu to start his class, and his topic today would be solutions. Solutions is a very important topic in physical chemistry. Uh, this particular chapter is of utmost importance both in the IPE point of view, intermediate public examination point of view, as well as the entrance examinations, mainly JE, Mains Advanced, as well as NEET. So I request all the students who are watching this particular webinar to be very attentive, follow the class carefully. In case you have any doubts or you have issues on your side, you can post them in the YouTube chat. We will respond to them. Okay. So, Lakshman Garu, are you ready?
Ready, sir?
Okay, over to you, Lakshman Garu. Please continue with your topic. This will be the first lesson in solutions topic. There will be another 2 more sessions coming up later. Okay.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I am Lakshman, PGT Chemistry from Telangana State Model School, Julapalli. I thank our webinar team for giving this me opportunity. Okay, sir. Dear student, we already alkali halide from the organic chemistry was explained. Today, I am going to discuss about solutions from physical chemistry. Let us learn what is the solutions, types of solution like this. So I will share my screen. Okay, let us come into the, today we are learned to the about solutions. The first one is a what are solutions. The second thing is types of solutions, and third one thing is expressing the concentration of the solution. And the fourth one is a numericals on concentration of the solutions. Okay, so before the discussion of solutions, already we learned in class 9th what are the matter, types of matter. The introduction session is the first one, matter. So what is the matter? The substance which has mass and occupies space is called a matter. So in this world, anything is a matter. So that is book, pen, chair, wall. For example, we are the taken anything. For example, in this we are the taken as a book. Book has a mass. Mass is nothing but a weight. Okay, chair also has a weight and occupies some of the space like wall, and anything is a matter. So matter can be divided into two types. One is a pure substances. The second one is a mixtures. Let us see the what are pure substances and mixtures. The pure substances. The pure substances in this name is there. Pure substances means the substances. So pure substances are substances that are made up of only one kind of particles. So here you can observe this. These are the made up of only one kind of the particle. And the pure substances has a fixed or constant structure will be the present. So in this we can observe the sugar and water. So the sugar crystals have a constant structure. So sugar crystals. Okay, next, the pure substances further divided into two types, that is the elements and compounds. And about the mixtures. About the mixtures, two or more pure substances mix them together to form mixtures. The mixtures has different kind of particles. So let us already will learn what is the pure substances. The pure substances is made up of only one kind of the particles, but mixtures are made up of different kind of the particle. Okay, so the simple example to, we want to make a lemon, so we need to the sugar, water and lemon. So in this, sugar is a pure substance, water is a pure substance, lemon is not a pure substance. Why? Because in this consist of a 2 to 3 different substances will be present, that's why it is not a pure substance. Okay, so all these three mix together to form of a lemon. Okay, so here pure substances, the only one kind of the particle has a fixed, and sugar and water, these both are a pure substance. Mixtures means we are the prepare a lemon to by mixing of a pure substances like sugar and water. Okay, so matter can be divided into two types, that is a pure substances and mixtures. So in these pure substances, again that further divided into a two types, that is elements and compounds. Next, mixtures again the divided into two types, that is a homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures. So let us come into the pure substances two types, that is a elements and compound. What are the element and what is the compounds? Let us come into the elements. Elements constitute the simplest chemical substance in which all the atoms are exactly the same. So the element, simply we can say the simplest chemical substance is a element. Example, sodium, fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen, these all are the elements. And they, which all are atoms, are exactly the same. In the element, all the atom exactly the same. That is a element. Next, coming to the compounds. In this, the compounds are chemical substances made up of two or more elements that are chemically bond together in a fixed ratio. Once again, listen, compounds are the chemical substances made up of two or more elements that are chemically bonded together in a fixed ratio. So two or more element chemically bonded. So we can observe here sodium. The sodium is a given one electron to the fluorine to form of a compound NaF, that is sodium fluoride. Next, here we can observe the water molecule. In this water molecule, already we know that is a hydrogen bond will be the present. The hydrogen bond will be the present. So here the red color is a oxygen. The remaining two, these two are a hydrogen atoms. Okay, to form of it. So in this water molecule between present of a hydrogen bond. Okay, so these are the pure substances, two types, that is element and compound. Let's go to the mixtures. Again, the classified into two types. So that is a one is heterogeneous mixture and homogeneous mixture. So clearly you can observe here in these two glasses are there. In this, the first glass in the first glass, the colored solution is a completely dissolved or uniformly dissolved. And in a second glass, the colored solution is not completely or uniformly not dissolved. Okay. So let us come into the definition of homogeneous. What is a homogeneous? Homogeneous mixture means the component mixed or uniformly distributed throughout the mixture. Okay, the components mixed or uniformly distributed throughout the mixture. So simply we can say the same throughout it, that is a homogeneous, the uniformly distributed throughout the solution or solvent. Okay, next what is the heterogeneous? The heterogeneous, all the components are completely mixed and all the particles can be seen under the microscope. So already we seen in the glass 2, in this the compound is not uniformly distributed, so that's why it is a heterogeneous mixture, and it is a completely dissolved, that's why it is a homogeneous mixture. Okay, let it come to the classification. We are learn now the matter classified into two types, that is a pure substances and mixtures. Again, the pure substances are classified into two types, that is a element and compounds. And mixtures is again classified into heterogeneous mixtures and homogeneous mixtures. Okay, this is the introduction. Let's come into the our lesson solutions. So what are solutions? Solutions. The solutions are homogeneous mixtures of two or more than two components are called solutions. Solutions are homogeneous mixture. What is the mean by homogeneous mixture? The solute is completely dissolved or uniformly dissolved, that is called a solutions. Okay, so next we are using here the solutions are homogeneous mixtures of two or more than two components. Always we are using component. What is the component means? The component also one of the substance, it will be used to preparation of a solutions, so that is a components. Okay, so binary solution. What is a binary solution means? The solutions which contains two components in it are called binary solutions. So any one solution is having two components, that is a binary solution. The solution is having a two or more than components, but only two component. For example, simply we can say sugar solution. The sugar and water both are mixing to form of a sugar solution. In this only two components are there, one is the sugar, second one is the water. So this type of solution is called a binary solutions. So here component means sugar is the one of the component and water is another component. These two components mixed together to form of a solution. Okay, is it clear? Let's, we can go to two components, that is a chemically we terminology to the solvent and solute. So what is the solvent? What is the solute? So before we can prepare the made a solution is made up of dissolving a solvent in solute. You can observe here the beaker. In this the beaker colored solution is there. So that is colored liquid is there. So colored liquid is a more in percentage, and here blue color is there, that is a called solvent, it is a very less percentage is there. So when it is a mixed in this to form of a solution, you can clearly observe that here the one of the colored liquid is there and here a one solid particle is there. When the solid particle is the keep in this colored liquid, so it is completely dissolved, so to form of a solution. Okay, so let's come into the solvent. In this the colored liquid is there na, that is the having a more quantity, that's why it is a solvent. And solute, the other component present, that is a lesser in quantity in the solution, so that is termed as a solute. Okay. Solvent means the component that is present in the largest quantity is known as a solvent. Solute means the other component present in lesser quantity is the in the solution is termed as solute. Okay, got it? Once again, we can recall the solution. Solution means a solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more than two components. So two or more than two components means one component is solvent, second component is a solute. The solvent means the component which is having a high quantity or less largest quantity is a solvent. The component which is having a lesser quantity, that is called a solute. So simply we can say what is the solution means solvent plus solute is called a solution. Is it clear? So let's go into the types of solution. So here we can see the components means solvent and solute. These are two components. The each component may be solid, liquid or in gaseous state. Maybe they are available in solid, liquid or gaseous state. Any state they are available. So let's come into in this lesson we are using saturation and concentration. The saturation is again three types, that is a saturated solution, unsaturated solution, supersaturated solution. The first one is a saturated solution, unsaturated solution, third one is supersaturated solution. The saturated solution. The saturated solution means the no more solute is dissolved in the solvent. Means solute is cannot dissolved. Okay, no more solute can be dissolved in the solvent is called a saturated solution. Unsaturated solution means the solute easily dissolved. The supersaturated means so when the percentage of the solute and solvent both are the equal, on the time we will heat the mixture. So that is converted into the solution. So that is a supersaturated. Saturated, unsaturated, supersaturated. Saturated means no more solute is dissolved. Unsaturated means solute can easily dissolve. So after the heating, the solution is the form that is a supersaturated. Let's come into the concentration. So we can observe here the picture. Here the color liquid, this is represent as dilute solution. So in this the dilute solution, this let's come into the concentrated solution. The colored is a very thick blue color is there. Means solute particles are a more percentage. So when we add the water, so it is thickness is the very light. Means it is converted as a dilute. So in a dilute solution is having a solute is the less, solvent is the more. Once again, I will repeat, dilute solution is having a solute is the less, solvent is the more. In concentrated solution, solute is the high and solvent is the less in percentage. So that is a concentrated and dilute solution. So let us discuss the types of solutions. So based on solute nature, the solutions are gaseous solutions, liquid solutions, and solid solutions. So three types. The gaseous solutions. Gaseous solutions means the gas is a solvent. Gas is a solvent. Liquid solutions. In this liquid is a solvent. Solid solutions. The solid is a solvent. So another component is what is there? Solute. That is solute we have the taken gas in gas. One gas is solute, another gas is solvent. So we call that is simply gas in gas. So that is in our atmosphere present mixture of oxygen and nitrogen. So nitrogen is a more percentage, nearly 78, and oxygen is a 21 percentage. So nitrogen is a solvent and lesser percentage oxygen is there. That's why oxygen is a solute. Let's come into the second type is a and that liquid in gas. Second one is liquid is taken as a solute and gas is taken as a solvent. So liquid in gas is a chloroform mixed with nitrogen, solid in gas, camphor in nitrogen gas. Next, second type of solution is a liquid solutions. In this liquid solution, solvent is a liquid only. So again further divided into gas in liquid, liquid in liquid, and solid in liquid. So common examples we can see once. Gas in liquid. The gas in liquid is oxygen dissolved in water. Liquid in liquid, that is ethanol dissolved in water. Solid in liquid, the glucose dissolved in water. Next, third type is solution, solid solutions. So solid is a solvent. The remaining another component is may be present in gas, liquid or solid. So let's come into this gas in solid, solution of hydrogen in palladium, liquid in solid, amalgam of mercury with sodium, solid in solid, copper dissolved in gold. These are the common examples. Next, coming to the expressing concentration of the solution. The expressing concentration of the solution is also called, that is the strength of the solution. Okay, the strength of the solution means the amount of dissolved solution or a solvent is called the strength of the solution. The amount of solute. So solute is one of the component or solvent is another component. So the amount of the solute dissolved per unit solution. Per unit solution means we have the taken as a 1 liter is as a 1 unit, or 2 liters as a unit, or a 3 liters as a unit. You can take any 1 unit. So the amount of solute dissolved per unit solution or solvent is called strength of solution or expressing concentration of solution. So expressing concentration of the solution or a strength of the solution can be expressed into the various methods. That methods are 8 are there. The one by one we can see. That is, the first one is mass percentage. It is a represented as weight by weight. Second one is volume percentage. It is represented as volume by volume. Third one is mass by volume percentage. It is represented by weight by volume. And fourth one is parts per million. Okay. Once again, you can see one is a first one is mass percentage. Second one is volume percentage. Third one is mass by volume percentage. Fourth one is parts per million. Okay. First we have the taken as mass. Second one is volume. Third one is mass by volume. And fourth one is parts per million. Next, coming to the fifth one is mole fraction, is represented with small x. Sixth one is molarity, represented with capital M. Seventh one is molality, represented with small m. Eighth one is normality, it is represented with capital N. Okay. Once again, see mass percentage, volume percentage, mass by volume percentage, parts per million, mole fraction, molarity, molality, normality. We can easily remember. So first four we can observe. First four in this, the first one is mass, second one is the volume, third one is mass by volume. Mass and volume is then mass by volume. Fourth one is parts per million. Next, 5, 6, 7, 8. In this, commonly we can observe moles. That is mole fraction, molarity, molality, and normality. Mole fraction, molality, molarity, normality. So in this all are there is a moles. So let us discuss one by one. This is the first one is a mass percentage. So first let's go into the mass percentage. So what is the mass percentage? The mass percentage, it is represents mass of a component present in 100 grams of solution. It represents the mass of a component. Here component may be solute or solvent, anything. So these mass will be represent. Mass is the represent. Okay. So mass is the represent. Mass is nothing but a weight. The weight is a weight of the component or weight of the solute or weight of the solvent. It is a present in 100 grams of solution. So for example, 100 grams of solution is the taken. In this 100 grams of the solution, so how much of one component is there? Maybe a solvent or solute. Okay. So once again, I will repeat mass percentage. It represents mass of a component present in 100 grams of solution. So the formula we can write, that is a mass percentage is equals to the mass of the one component in the solution by total mass of the solution. Clearly you can observe mass of the component in the solution. Mass of the component in the solution means one component. Maybe you are the taken solute. Okay, that is a one component. Total mass of the solution. So total mass of the solution means solution is made up of or more number of components. So here solution is having a maybe two components. That is, one is a solute, another one is a solvent. So here we are the taken as only one component, that is a solute, and here the solute and solvent both are taken. Okay, understood? Once again I will repeat, mass of the component means we are the taken here the weight of the solute, and total mass of the solution. Total mass of the solution means the weight of the solute and solvent. Above we are the taken only solute, and below we are the taken solute and solvent both. Okay, so into 100, that is a percentage. So once again, it represent of mass of a component present in 100 grams of solution. Mass percentage is equal to the mass of the component in the solution by total mass of the solution into 100. Okay, so on the basis of the mass percentage, some of the numericals will be there. So we can see one example in this. Calculate the mass percentage of aspirin. Calculate the mass percentage of aspirin. The formula of the aspirin is C9H8O4 in acetonitrile CH3CN. When 6.5 grams of aspirin is dissolved in 450 mg of CH3CN, that is acetonitrile. So clearly you can understood mass of the percentage, mass percentage of aspirin. Mass percentage of aspirin. We want to calculate the mass percentage of aspirin. So where is the presence of aspirin? In acetonitrile. So inside of the acetonitrile, what is there? Aspirin is there. So what is the weight of? The weight of the acetonitrile is a 450 mg and weight of the aspirin is 6.5 grams. Okay. So once again read the problem. Calculate the mass percentage of aspirin in acetonitrile. So aspirin will be present in the acetonitrile. And second thing is we want to calculate the mass percentage. Okay, got it? Next, the weights is given in the problem. Acetonitrile weight is a 450 mg is given. Aspirin weight is a 6.5 mg is given. Okay. So coming to the solution, given mass of aspirin is 6.5 grams and mass of acetonitrile is a 50 grams. So what is the formula of the mass percentage? The mass percentage is equal to the mass of the component in the solution, total mass of the solution. So mass of the solution, total mass of the solution is A, that is 6.5 grams is aspirin, 450 is acetonitrile. The both we can addition to form of 456.5 grams. That is coming to the formula, mass percentage is equal to the mass of the aspirin by total mass of solution into 100. Okay. So mass percentage is equal to the 6.5 by 456.5 into 100. We can get 1.424 percentage. So clearly you can observe here why we are the taken 6 point in this formula. 6.5 grams are we are the taken here. What is the 6.5? Mass of the aspirin. So here aspirin is a solute and 450 grams of acetonitrile is a solvent, because the solvent in a solution which is the largest quantity is a solvent and lesser quantity is a solute. So that's why aspirin is a solute, acetonitrile is a solvent. So when both are combined to form of a solution, so the formula is mass of the aspirin by total solution into 100. So we can substitute in this formula 6.5 by 456.5 into 100. We can get 1.424 percentage. Got it? So this type of problem will be asking. Okay, this is a mass percentage. And expressing the concentration of the solution, what is the second one? Second one is a volume percentage. Third one is mass by volume percentage. Fourth one is ppm. So let's come into the volume percentage. The volume percentage is represented by volume. It represents volume of component in 100 ml of solution. In once you recall, that is mass percentage. Mass percentage is represents the mass only. Volume percentage represents the volume of component, volume of the component. Mass percentage is the mass of the component. Volume percentage is the volume of the component. Okay, in 100 ml of solution. Okay, let's come into the, we can write the formula of the volume percentage is volume percentage is equal to the volume of the component in the solution by total volume of the solution into 100. Okay, volume of the one component in the solution, maybe either we one component we are the taken solute or a solvent, by total volume of the solution. Total volume means here the taken both solute and solvent, both we can take into 100. Okay, this is a volume percentage. Once again I will repeat, the volume percentage, it represents volume of a component in 100 ml of solution. The volume percentage is equal to the volume of the component in the solution by total volume of solution into 100. Okay, so let's come into the third one is mass by volume percentage. It represents the mass of the solute in grams present in 100 ml of solution. Here both are there, mass by volume. Mass is nothing but weight. The weight of the solute is taken into a grams, and volume of the solution taken into a mLs, milliliters. That is called a mass percentage. I will repeat once again. It represents mass of the solute in grams present in 100 ml of solution. So in this definition is there, mass by volume percentage. So mass is there, volume is there. So mass is represented as solute mass, and volume is represented as solution volume. Okay, mass by volume percentage, simple. Okay, let's come into the written as a formula is mass by volume percent is equals to the mass of solute in grams, volume of solution in milliliters into 100. So next ppm, parts per million, ppm. So we can write ppm is equals to the number of parts of the component by total number of all the component of the solution into 10 to the power of 6. That is called a parts per million, ppm. Okay, so here we can observe this total number of all the component of solution, total number of all the component in the solution. So solution can be divided into, for example, 100 parts. So in this 100 parts, how many number of parts are there? This is the one component. Okay, got it? Once again, I will repeat. The solution means solute and solvent both. In this, the both are having 100 parts. So in this 100 parts, the only solute is having how many parts? That is a parts per million. Okay, once again I will repeat. Parts per million is equals to the number of parts of the component by total number of all the component of solution into 10 to the power of 6. So that is a parts per million. Let's go into the, once again I will repeat. So once again I will repeat, that is a mass percentage. Mass percentage represents the mass of the component in 100 grams of the solution. The volume percentage is a volume of the component in 100 ml of solution. The formula is written as the volume of the component in the solution by total volume of the solution into 100. Next, mass by volume percentage, it is represented as weight by volume, and it presents the mass of the solute in grams present in 100 ml of solution. So formula we can write mass by volume percent is equal to the mass of the solute in grams and volume of solution in milliliters into 100. Parts per million, ppm, is equals to the number of parts of the component by total number of all the component of the solution into 10 to the power of 6. So we can see here the concentration in parts per million can be expressed as mass to mass, volume to volume, and mass to volume. So parts per million we can express as a in mass percentage or a volume percentage or mass by volume percentage. Okay, let's come to the fifth one is mole fraction. So the most important thing is the mole fraction represented with X. So what is a mole fraction means? The ratio of number of moles of the one component of the solution to the total number of moles of all the components in the of the solution is called the mole fraction. So listen carefully. It is the ratio of number of moles of the one component in the solution. The solution is there. In this the solution, two components are there. So that is solute and solvent. Two components are there. So in which number of moles of the one component of the solution to the total number of moles of the all the component of the solution. Okay. So above we have the taken only number of moles of one component, by below we have the taken as a, that is the total number of solution. We can write the formula, you can understand easily. That is the number of moles of the component, number of moles of the one component and total number of moles of all the component. So above we have the taken maybe a solute or solvent, any one component. The below we have the taken as a number of moles of all the component solution and solvent, both are we can take here. Okay. Once again, I will repeat the definition. The ratio of number of moles of the one component of the solution, number of moles of the one component of the solution to the total number of moles of all the component of the solution is called mole fraction. The formula we can write the number of moles of the component by total number of moles of all the components. Okay. Once you can observe here, the number of moles of the component, of the component means here the given moles. Moles is nothing but a weight by gram molecular weight. So one component we are considered as one solute. In this solute, we are the taken number of moles means weight by gram molecular weight will be taken. And the total number of moles of the all the component means here the two components are there. In this the two component we are the taken weight by gram molecular weight individually. Okay, let us consider one example. In a binary mixture, A is a solute, B is a solvent. Okay, so binary mixture is there. Binary mixture means already you learned a solution present only the two components, that is called a binary mixture. So here we are the taken one component is A, second component is B. For example, A component is a solute, B component is a solvent. So the mole fraction of A means solute. The mole fraction of A we can write XA. XA, mole fraction of solute. So A is a solute now. Okay. Let's come into the X is represent mole fraction. Mole fraction of solute is equals to the number of moles of the solute divided by number of moles of the solute plus number of moles of the solvent. So B is a represented solvent. Okay. So as the same we can represent it as a B solvent. For X is a mole fraction of solvent is equals to N is represented as the number of moles, that is N, number of moles of the solvent by the number of moles of solute plus number of moles of solvent. Okay, got it? Once again I will repeat. The mole fraction is a number of moles of the component, number of moles of the one component by total number of moles of the all the components. So in a binary mixture, for example, we are considered as a binary mixture. In a binary mixture, X is a solute and A is a solute, B is a solvent. Okay, so A is a solute, B is a solvent, X means mole fraction. So we are consider the solute mole fraction. Solute mole fraction. So X is a mole fraction, A is a solute. So mole fraction of solute is equals to the number of moles of the solute divided by number of moles of the solute plus number of moles of the solvent. Okay. Again, we are considered as a mole fraction of solvent. Mole fraction of solvent, X is a mole fraction, B is a solvent. Okay. So XB is equals to the number of moles of the solvent by number of moles of the solute plus number of moles of the solvent. Okay. Got it? It's a very simple. So on the basis of the mole fraction, the given is some of the problems, that is, and one more thing is it has no units. So sum of the mole fraction of all the component is always unity. There is mole fraction of solute plus mole fraction of solvent is equals to the 1. So always it is a unity. XA plus XB is the most important thing. The sum of the mole fraction of all the component is always the unity. XA plus XB is equals to the 1. Okay. So let's do the some of the problems. Calculate the mole fraction of ethylene glycol. The formula of the ethylene glycol is C2H6O2 in a solution containing 20% weight by weight ethylene glycol by mass. Okay, one solution is there. In this solution, already we know that solution means solute plus solvent, both are. But here given only the ethylene glycol 20%. Okay, so assume that have a 100 grams of solution. Okay, only in the problem is the given only ethylene glycol 20% is the given. Okay, so let us, we can assume 100% is there. So then the solution contains 20 grams of ethylene glycol. 20% ethylene glycol is there, means the remaining 80% is the water. Okay, so once again you can listen here. Ethylene glycol is the 20 grams is there, or 20%. The water is a 80 grams is there. That means the water is a solvent, ethylene glycol is a solute. So before the calculating of the mole fraction, once you remember the formula of a mole fraction is equals to the number of moles of the one component by total number of moles of the all the components in the solution. So number of moles of the component. Moles of the component means in this we want to the weight by gram molecular weight. Weight by gram molecular weight. So both we want. So gram molecular weight, how can we calculate the gram molecular weight? Gram molecular weight of ethylene glycol. The formula of C2H6O2 is a ethylene glycol. So see here. The number of carbon atoms is the 2 is there. Number of hydrogen atom is 6. Number of oxygen atom is the 2. So number of carbon atom is the 2. So we have the taken is the 2 into the mass of the carbon is a 12. Again, I will repeat. The number of carbon atoms is the 2 and mass of the carbon is a 12 plus the number of hydrogen atom is a 6 and mass of the hydrogen is a 1 plus the number of oxygen atom is the 2 and mass of the oxygen is a 16. So when we calculate, this is a 62 grams, the molar mass or gram molecular weight calculation. Okay, so before we want to calculate the mole fraction, so we can calculate that weight and gram molecular weight. Weight is already given in the problem. Okay, so gram molecular weight we can calculate like this. So let us come into the okay, number of moles of the ethylene glycol. We can calculate here the individually solute and solvent, both two components. Individually we can calculate the number of moles. The number of moles of the ethylene glycol is a N is a number of moles of ethylene glycol is equals to the number of weight by gram molecular weight. The weight is given in the problem is a 20. So 20 we have taken, and gram molecular weight already we calculated, that is a 62. So 62. So we can get 0.322 moles. Let's come into the second one, number of moles of the water. Another component, the mole we can calculate. So mass is a and gram molecular weight is 18. So we can get 4.444. So what is the problem? Calculate the mole fraction of ethylene glycol. So ethylene glycol mole fraction we want to the calculate. So let's come into the formula. That is mole fraction of ethylene glycol is equal to the number of moles of the ethylene glycol by number of moles of ethylene glycol plus number of moles of the water is equals to the number of moles of ethylene glycol. Here we can calculate it. That is, we can get 0.322. So 0.322 by, again, number of moles of the ethylene glycol is 0.322 plus number of moles of the water is a 4.444. So we can get 0.322 0.068. Okay, so these type of problems will be asking on the mole fraction. Remember that what is the mole fraction means, the mole fraction is equals to the number of moles of the one component divided by total number of moles of the all the components. Let's come into the sixth one is molarity. So what it is also important one. So we can see the definition of molarity. The number of moles of the solute present in 1 liter of the solution is called molarity. The number of moles of the solute here clearly given, that is number of moles of the solute present in 1 liter of solution. So unit is the also is the given in solution. So solution is only 1 liter. In this 1 liter of the solution, how many moles of the solute will be the present? Got it? Once again I will repeat. In 1 liter of the solution, how many number of moles of solute will be the present? That calculation is a molarity. It is represented with capital M. Okay. So formula is molarity is equals to the number of moles of solute and volume of solution in liters. That is the formula. Molarity is equal to the number of moles of solute, volume of solution in liters. So here number of moles of solute means moles is represented with N and volume is represented with V. So number of moles, already we know what is the mole. Mole means weight by gram molecular weight into volume is written in 1 by V in liters. So the same unit is expressed in the milliliters. So we can get that is a weight by gram molecular weight into 1000 by V. Okay, it is this formula using as in liters, this formula using as milliliters. So once again, listen the molarity. The number of moles of the solute present in 1 liter of solution is called a molarity. It clearly said in a 1 liter of solution, how many number of moles is present of a solute? That is called a molarity. Okay, the molarity is equal to the formula is written number of moles of the solute by volume of solution in 1 liter. So number of moles means weight by gram molecular weight into 1 by V in liters. So in milliliters we can express weight by gram molecular weight into 1000 by V. So we can see the one of the problem on the molarity. So calculate the molarity of a solution contain 5 grams of NaOH in the 500 ml of solution. Calculate the molarity of solution. Okay, molarity we want to find out here. Contain 5 grams of NaOH in 500 ml of solution. In a solution, solute solvent, both are mixing. How many? What is the volume here? 500 ml is the volume. In the 500 volume, one component is NaOH. The NaOH is present in 5 grams. Okay, so total what is the mole of this solution? That is coming to the gram molecular weight of NaOH. Sodium is 23, oxygen is 16, and hydrogen is the 1. Totally is 40. So let's come into the given. In volume is equals to the, in a problem is given volume is 500 ml and weight is a 5. And molarity formula here we are, here in this the problem is the given in grams and milliliters. That's why we can use weight by gram molecular weight into 1000 by V. So these values are substituted in this formula. So we can get molarity is equals to the 5 weight of the NaOH by gram molecular weight of the NaOH is the 40 into 1000 by 500. So 500 ones are 500 twos are. So it is a cancel. So here 2 is there. So 2 ones are 2 20s are. The 40 is a cancel. So 5 by 20. 5 by 20 we can get 0.25 mole per liter. So mole fraction does not have any unit, but the molarity is having a unit, that is a moles per liter. So sometimes the asking of a calculate the weight. The molarity is given in the problem, but weight we want to the calculate. So see the one of the problem on the molarity. See, next one. So molality M. So what is the molality? The number of moles of the solute present in 1 kilogram of the solvent is called molality. Okay. Remember once a molarity. The molarity, number of moles of the solute present in 1 liter of the solution. Okay. Here also is the given number of moles of the solute present in 1 kilogram of the solvent is called a molality. So molarity is the given in volume in 1 liter, and molality is the given 1 kilogram. That means 1 kg of solvent. Okay. So both are remaining similar. Okay. Here also 1 kilogram of solvent is there. In this 1 kilogram of solvent, how many number of moles of solute will be the present? That one we want to calculate. Coming to the formula, molality is equals to the number of moles of the solute by weight of solvent in kgs. So number of moles of the solute and weight of solvent in kgs. So number of moles means we can take that is a small n, by weight of the solvent is taken capital W. So number of moles means weight by gram molecular weight into 1 by weight of solvent, that in kgs. In grams we want to calculate. So formula is a weight by gram molecular weight into 1000 by V. Okay, it is most of the similar to the molarity. Okay, let's come into the one of the problem. Calculate the molality of 2.5 grams of ethanoic acid in 75 grams of benzene. So clearly you can observe both composition. In this ethanoic acid is there 2.5 grams and benzene is there 75 grams. Okay, so molarity formula is the molarity is equal to weight gram molecule in 1000 by weight of the solvent. So this is the given solute weight. Okay, you can have the problem 2.5 grams of ethanoic acid. 2.5 grams ethanoic acid means that is this percentage comparing with benzene. That's why ethanoic acid is a solute and the benzene is a solvent. So given solute weight is 2.5 grams and weight of the solvent is given 7 grams. That's the molecular weight of the ethanoic acid is a C. Molarity to the we can substitute these values, that is a 2. Weight by gram molecular weight into 1000 by weight of the solvent. So weight is a weight of the solute is a 2.5, gram molecular weight of ethanoic acid is 60 into 1000 by 75 is equals to the, we can get 0.556 m molality we can get. Let's come into the on the molarity. To calculate the molarity on the weight problem is there na, that is. So molarity weight, calculate the weight of the glucose required to prepare 500 ml of 0.1 m solution. So clearly observe this. In this molarity is the given 0.1 m and volume is given 500 ml. So we want to calculate the weight. So that is the formula, molarity is equals to the weight by gram molecular weight into 1000 by 500. Okay, so molarity already is given 0.1 and volume is already given in a problem 500 ml. So substitute the values. The molarity is given 0.1 is equal to the weight by 180 into 1000 by 500. So 500 ones are 500 twos are. So here 2 ones are 290s are. So 0.1 equal to the weight by 90. So 0.1 into 90 is equals to the 9 grams. Okay, this is the next. Coming to the normality, the last one. So it is represents, normality is the represents on number of equivalents of solute present in 1 liter of solution. Okay, once again you can recall the molarity. Molarity is a number of moles of the solute present in the number of moles of solute present in the 1 liter of the solution. That is a molarity. But here given is a number of equivalent of solute is equals to the 1 liter of solution. So number of equivalent is nothing but a moles only. Okay. So how can we calculate the equivalent? We can see later. So see the formula. Normality is equals to the number of gram equivalents of solute and volume of solution in liters. So the number of gram equivalents of solute we can represent it with N. Volume of solution it in liters we can represent it with V. So we can write the formula in liters, weight by gram molecular weight into 1 by V. In a milliliters, weight by gram molecular weight into 1000 by V. Okay, so how can we calculate the equivalent weight? So number of equivalent weight is equal to the W by E. W means weight, E is a equivalent weight. So what is the E? What is the equivalent weight? How can we calculate the equivalent weight? Means E is equal to the M by Z. So M is a molar mass by Z means valency factor. For example, H2SO4. H2SO4 molar mass is a 98 and the valency factor H2 plus SO4 minus 2. So valence is minus 2. So that's why that is the taken as a 2 is a valency factor. So how to find off a normality? First we can determine the equivalent of HCl, and equivalent is the number of moles of hydrogen ion one molecule of an acid will donate or 1 mole of base is accept. Generally, for example, we can see HCl. The HCl we can ionize it is H plus Cl minus. So 1 mole of HCl we can take. 1 mole of HCl is ionized H plus Cl minus. We can take 2 moles of HCl. So 2 H plus 2 Cl minuses will be get. 3 HCl we can take. So 3 H plus 3 Cl minus we can get. So when it is HCl ionized, 1 H plus will be formed means another 1 base will be accepted. So 2 H pluses will be the last means will be the last. Like that we can find. So equivalent is 1. Because here we are taken only the 1 mole. 1 mole of hydrogen, 1 mole of HCl is taken. So that's why given the number of moles of hydrogen is only 1 mole is given. So equivalent of the HCl is the 1. Okay. So remember the rule for all the solutions which have gram equivalent value of 1, the normality of the solution is always equal to the molarity of the solution. So what is the rule? Always molarity is equal to the normality. Always molarity is equal to the normality. So so 2m solution of HCl is there. 2m solution of HCl. So gram equivalent of HCl is the 1 normality. So molarity into equivalent weight is a 2 into 1 equal to the 2n. So here molarity is given 2m. So normality also a 2m. That's why the rule is the number of molarity is equal to the number of normality. So some of the important relationship between the dilution law. The dilution law is M1 V1 equal to the M2 V2 and N1 V1 equal to the N2 V2. So here the problem is given to M1 V1 by N1 is equal to M2 V2 by N2. So when to estimate the HCl in present in 500 ml of solution, so to be supplied to the sodium carbonate. So here 2 sodium carbonate HCl both are there. So when we write this sodium carbonate and HCl both equation, we can get a number of moles. So that's why number of moles we can take an M1 V1 by N1 is equal to the M2 V2 by N2. Similarly, normality also N1 V1 by N1 equal to N2 V2 by N2. So when we find out the molarity of only one component, so on the time we can modify this formula as M2 is equal to the M1 V1 N2 by V2 N1. Similarly, normality also. Okay, the molarity and normality relationship is a normality equal to the Z into molarity. So some practice problems, you can see the problems, you can take as a screenshot and you can do these problems. Here answers also is given. If you get this same answer, you can do right method. Okay, okay, taken the screenshot. So what we'll learn in this session? So definition of solution, what is the solvent, what is the solute, and types of solution, that is a gaseous solution, liquid solutions and solid solutions. Mass percentage is equal to the mass of the solute by total mass of the solution into 100. Volume percentage, the volume of the one component by total volume of the all the component into 100. Mass by volume percentage, the mass of the solute by volume of the solution in mLs into 100. ppm, the one component parts by total component parts. Mole fraction, number of moles of the one component by total number of moles of the all the component in the solution. Molarity, number of moles of the solute present in the 1 liter of the solution. Molality, the number of moles of the solute present in 1 kilogram of the solvent. Normality, number of moles of solute, number of moles of the solute gram equivalent weight present in the solution. And we can see the numericals on mass by mass percentage and mole fraction, molarity and molality. Okay, next session we can discuss, that is a solubility, Raoult's law, Henry's law, and ideal solutions, non-ideal solutions, like. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. You have given a very detailed discussion on solutions. Hope the students have understood it well. So, a piece of advice to all the students who are watching the live program. Uh, Children, this particular video would again be available on YouTube as a recorded video. So I request all of you to see the video again and again, because sir has covered the most important aspects of solutions topic. He has covered types of solutions, mixtures, types of concentrations in which we measure the concentration of a solution, uh, most important mathematical formulas of morality, molality, and mole fraction. These three are in fact very very important in this topic, as most of the numericals shall be asked. Sir has also taken a lot of pain in explaining the worked out examples he has shown you. At the end of the session, he has given you a few practice problems. So all students are requested to do those problems, send the feedback to your concerned chemistry faculty in your school. In case you have doubts, you can discuss with them, and this particular team will always be ready to help you on any issue that arises of the academic context. Okay, so thank you very much, Lakshman Garu, for a very detailed lecture on solutions. We will see you again in the next session, where the same topic would be continued. Once again, thank you from all the team members of this webinar. Have a nice day. Children, you may take a 5-minute break, and next there will be a mathematics class. So we will again continue the session. Okay, thank you.